Hi, my name is Barb Nangle. I'm the founder of Higher Power Coaching and Consulting. I want to welcome you to my podcast, Fragmented to Whole, Life Lessons from 12-Step Recovery. This is episode 35, Boundaries During the Holidays. During the holidays, there are lots of demands on us, whether it has to do with gift giving and receiving, holiday rituals like sending cards or baking cookies, traveling, attending events, or hosting people at your home. Setting boundaries around what we truly want allows us to focus on the meaning of the holidays, which is usually connecting with people that we care about. I'll give you some scripts for how to specifically state the words to set your boundaries for some typical holiday scenarios in a few minutes. But before I do that, I want to say a few other things. First, if you feel sad during the holidays, that's okay. Allow yourself to feel sad. Feel those feelings. There's no need to act like you feel cheerful if you don't. You get to feel whatever you're feeling, and you don't have to make excuses. And if you really need to be alone, then do so, but only if it's to refuel or to conserve energy, not if it's to isolate. Isolating is draining. It drains your energy because you're fending off the world when you isolate. If you'd like to hear more about the difference between isolating and healthy alone time, I talk about that in episode 21, which is ironically called Isolation versus Healthy Alone Time. Anyway, about setting boundaries. Everything is an option. Even if it doesn't feel like an option, it is an option. Now, there will be consequences to your choices. In fact, your life right now is a consequence of the choices that you've made. And if you don't like your life right now, then make different choices. But again, everything is an option, even not participating in long-standing, time-honored family traditions around the holidays. Boundaries help us enjoy our loved ones and our time, and they reduce stress and overwhelm. Having boundaries means living intentionally. Boundaries around your time will help you more authentically connect with others so that you're not drained. Being frantic is not healthy, especially for addicts. So you have to decide, or you get to decide, what's really important and then plan those things first. When you're clear what's important to you, you'll find it easier to let go of other things. And the less you commit to, the more you'll enjoy relaxing with loved ones and enjoying the spirit of the season. So if you're traveling and there are lots of people to see, perhaps you could host a gathering at a restaurant rather than going to visit every single person. Or you could ask someone to host you so that you can see the people you want without exhausting yourself. Don't avoid setting boundaries because someone is hurt or angry or disappointed. It's their hurt, anger, or disappointment, not yours. You are not responsible for them or for fixing them. Your loved ones are not fragile. And there's a difference between hurting someone and harming them. Though they may feel hurt if you cancel or don't come or don't conform to their traditions, your change of plans will not harm them. They will survive their hurt feelings. Now, don't get me wrong, we should respect our families, but we're not under their authority when we're adults. Now, here are a few scripts that you might use to set boundaries during the holidays. If you're refusing an invitation, especially if it's a time-honored tradition, you might say, I'd love to. However, I have lots of competing demands, so I'm going to say no. Thank you so much. Perhaps next year. If someone is commenting on things like your eating habits, your relationship status, your career, whether you should or should not, or when you should have children, your appearance, you can simply say, I'd prefer you not comment on my eating habits, for example. End of sentence. And if they say something again, you just repeat the same thing politely as many times as you need to. If you're going to be away from family and they tell you that they're hurt, you could say something like, I'm sorry you feel hurt. I would never want to hurt you. This year, I have others I want to spend the holidays with. And it's not about not caring about you. It's about wanting to be with them. I'm looking forward to seeing you at, and then name some future time when you know you're going to see them. If someone says that you not coming is going to ruin the holiday, you could say, I hope it doesn't ruin things for you. That would be a shame. The reason I'm telling you now is so you'll be ready and can make other arrangements so that your holiday is not ruined. If someone is prying into information that feels too personal to you, know that you're in charge of how much you share, and you get to share or not share whatever you want. And you don't need an excuse. You can simply say, I'm uncomfortable talking about that, and then change the subject. It's probably a good idea to have a couple of neutral topics tucked in your back pocket in case this kind of thing happens. So you can easily switch the subject to something that's not going to be inflammatory. I know that when I'm in situations like this, I get all flustered and I can't think. So having something already in my back pocket that I'm going to pull out and talk about makes it easier for me because I don't really have to think. Now, if you don't want to exchange gifts with someone any longer, especially if you've been doing it for a long time, you can depersonalize it by saying something like, I have a new personal policy around gift giving. For example, you might say, I no longer exchange gifts with friends, and then state the new policy. For example, I've rearranged my priorities and I'm only going to exchange gifts with family from now on. Or I'm only going to donate money at the holidays. I'm not going to exchange gifts any longer. And when you call it a policy, it doesn't make it about that person. It's about you and what you've decided are your priorities, because that's what boundaries mean. They mean you get to live your life intentionally the way that you choose to live it. So go forth and live your life during the holidays in the way that you choose and enjoy them. Happy holidays. That's it for today. If you like what you've heard here, then you just might be interested in private coaching with me. If that sounds like you, head on over to my website, which is higherpowercoachingandconsulting.com, and click on the contact menu. I'd be happy to schedule a consultation with you to help you make lasting changes in your life, like I've made deep, lasting changes in my life. My ideal client is someone who is ripe for change, but I'll coach anyone who wants to be happy, joyous, and free. So if that's you, shoot me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe so you can be sure to get future episodes of my podcast. Thanks again.